Hi Lovelies, I am back with another product review, and today I'm going to be testing out the Blendiful sponge applicator makeup tool thingamajiggies from Tati Beauty. I don't really know how exactly to describe these yet. I haven't opened them yet, but I feel like they're a sponge cross puff type of product, and they're supposed to be one of the most multi-use versatile makeup application tools. I figured it'd be fun to do a little first impressions review of these today. So I bought them myself, and I did order them directly from Tati Beauty. I don't believe they are stocked in any retailers. Just to give you an idea of the cost, so these retail for $18 US on the Tati Beauty site, which converts to about 27 Australian dollars. However, because we're in Australia and these ship from the US, there is shipping, so it's a $9.95 shipping charge, I believe, which then takes up the total cost to nearly 47 Australian dollars. Now, that does seem like a lot for this little product, but because of the shipping, that's what makes it expensive. If you didn't have to pay for the shipping and it just costs the 27 Australian dollars, that's actually $3 cheaper than beauty blenders here in Australia from Sephora. So they come inside this little baggie, which is very similar to like how face halos come packaged. Gonna open it up. And there they are. How cute. And these are the two products that you get inside. So you've got the large size and the baby size. I believe the baby size is meant to like pop in your bag for touch-ups and stuff like that, which is really cute. It's nice and little, so it would definitely pop into your handbag very easily. Now the actual large size, it is quite big. Like when you look at it compared to my face, it's nearly like half the size of my face. That's because it's meant to be very flexible, and you're meant to be able to like bend it and shape it to use it for multiple applications in one sitting. That's why it's so large. So they do say that you can use this with your primer, but for me personally, I never use anything other than my hands to apply my primer, and I'm not going to change that up. So there's no point me testing that because I wouldn't use it for primer anyway. But today I'm just going to be using the Tarte, what's it even called? Hydrating Base Hydrate Primer. Now, time for foundation. I usually have fake tan on, but I actually have no fake tan on right now. And the lightest liquid foundation I have in my collection is still a bit too dark. It's the Deauville, that's a shade, Deauville NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. So it's going to be a little bit too dark for me, so we'll have to bring it down my neck, but that is the foundation I will be using today. So I'm assuming you would just apply the foundation directly onto your face, like pump it onto your face and then go in with the actual sponge. When I watched Tati's announcement video, I can't actually remember seeing her dispense the foundation. I just remember seeing her like gliding the foundation on her skin, like not patting, like she was definitely like sweeping it on her skin. So I'm assuming she already had it on her face. I don't know if you would actually directly dispense it to the sponge. So I'm just going to try putting it directly on my face and then we'll go from there. Just do one pump like that. And I'm just going to take probably more the pointy point, I guess. Okay, well, it actually looks really nice. Like, it looks really good on my skin. I definitely need another pump. I mean, you could definitely pat as well. That's very interesting. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it right now, actually. Okay. So now I'm gonna do this side. I feel like it does kind of suck up my foundation though. Like, it looks really nice, but that's 2 pumps of the Longwear foundation on my face, and all my redness and pigmentation is still showing through, and I usually find it to be quite full coverage after that many pumps. I definitely like how this feels though, like it feels nice. And I feel like it makes like the finish of my foundation look really nice too. I might try just like cut it. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. I saw people saying they felt like this was a quicker way of applying their makeup, but I don't know, I feel like this is taking me longer than what it would if I was using like my usual sponge. It could also be because it's the first time I'm using it. So I'm just going to be taking the Tarte Shape Tape, of course my favorite concealer. I figured I better use products that I actually know how they perform in this video, since I'm testing like such a different tool to what I'm used to. So going to go in with my holy grails. I've got them in 2 shades, which is Fair Light Neutral and Fair Neutral. I'm just not sure what color I need to use with this concealer at the moment, so I'll probably mix the 2 of them. I think that shade should be okay. So I think I saw Tati like sort of pinch her sponge like this and then blend out her concealer. I mean, it definitely blends out the concealer well, and you can definitely get into the inner corners easily when you pinch the tip. I don't know. It's starting to make my skin look a little bit patchy in some spots. Do you see on like the, oh, I just nearly fell over. On the side of my nose, let me just turn down this brightness. Oh no, it's the warmth, lol. Can you guys see on the side of my nose how like it's a little bit patchy? I feel like it looks good everywhere, but there, I don't know if that's my fault or what the dealio is. Okay, well I feel very full coverage now. I feel like I had to use a lot of foundation though to get to this point. So before I go ahead and cream contour, I'm just going to set my under eyes, and I'm going to use the Nakia Joy Cosmetics loose powder. This is my favorite loose powder. And I think I'm just going to use the same point that I've used all those cream products with. I'm not one to really like loose powders under my eyes, especially like baking them in general. Don't know how I feel about that, but anyway. I mean, look, you can definitely get up under your eyes easily. Just don't know how I'm feeling it. Don't know how I'm feeling it. So we're going to go ahead and use some cream bronzers, and I'm going to use the Huda Beauty one in the shade Fair. Now I must admit, although I like this cream contour, it is very nice. It's a beautiful formula. I really don't reach for cream contours like very often at all because I just prefer powders. So I'm going to take the bottom end, so this end of my actual blender, and I'm going to pinch it like this, and I'm going to dip it straight into the bronzer. So we're going to dip it like this. I don't want to pick up too much because this stuff is like hella pigmented. And then I'm just going to pat it. That was definitely a very seamless application of that. That's actually quite flawless. I mean, it's definitely blending that cream contour like more nicely than what a brush does, I must admit. However, I still definitely prefer my powders, not gonna lie. I can see why people would enjoy a product like this, especially if you're someone who really loves lots of cream-based products. Then I think this might be right up your alley. So far, I don't think it's something I'm gonna be reaching for very often. Like, it's a new tool, which is probably halfway. It feels so unnatural for me, but I just, although like my makeup's looking nice, I just don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and just set the rest of my face with some more of the translucent powder. So I think we might even try like baking under the contour. Yeah, look, my skin is looking really nice. Now, I am not a cream blush person at all. I do not like them, so I'm not going to use a cream blush, but I figured I'm going to try use it with an actual powder because you are supposed to be able to use this with powder products too. So I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Pink Sands face palette and I'm going to use the Ibiza shade, which is this color here. And I'm going to take the Blendiful sponge. I'm going to sort of pinch it like that to get a clean corner, and I'm going to dip it into the blush. It's definitely working. Do we want to try highlight as well? Why not? Look, let's take this shade out of the same palette and try highlight our cheekbones too. I'm going to use the other blank corner and really pinch it finely, dab in and see if we can get some highlight. Oh yeah, that works. I feel like I'm coming to the conclusion that if you like lots of liquid base products, then you are going to very much like this sponge. For someone who really likes powders, you're probably going to prefer good old makeup brushes. That's where I'm heading with this. I'm going to jump off camera, finish my eye makeup, gather my thoughts on the Blendiful sponge, and then come back and give you guys my final verdict and like opinion and stuff, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, I'm back. I have the rest of my makeup on, and I'm still feeling very much in two minds about this particular little product. So when I look at my face, I feel like my skin does look very flawless. Like all the products have definitely applied flawlessly to my face. However, I just don't know if this is a product that I'm going to be reaching for. I feel like I definitely prefer how a brush feels in the hand as you're applying makeup versus how this feels. Although, yes, you can bend it and manipulate it to whatever shape you kind of need for each application, it still feels like very like fiddly and finicky. I don't know. Maybe with some more use, it might be something I get used to that I might want to reach more for, but I don't think I'm going to be honest. This might be the first and only time you ever see it on my channel. I don't really know. We'll have to see where time takes us. So although I feel that way about this particular product, I don't actually think it's bad. I think it's a really great product, and it definitely did everything that they claim it can do. So I 110% like agree with all the information that's been put out there with the sponge about what it's capable of and how flawlessly it applies your makeup. I just don't think I like how it handles in comparison to just a good old traditional makeup brush. I don't know, and then I feel like every time you use it, you'd have to wash it after every single use, especially if you used it for like a full face of makeup. I don't think you'd be able to keep going back in and using it like you can a makeup brush. You know, at the end of the day, you can use a makeup brush for weeks and weeks on end before washing it if you really want to. So I'm super curious to know what you guys think of this little sponge. Make sure you let me know in the comments section. If you have any questions, also pop that below. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, and subscribe if you're a new face so you don't miss out on future uploads. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll be talking to you guys in the comments and in my next video. Bye!